Hey, what's going on everybody? Jose Hernandez here with Mastering Conversational Chemistry, and today I'm going to bring you 3 tips on how to re-grab your audience's attention. Now, earlier on in the videos, we discussed the importance of grabbing your attention for your audience early so you're not fighting a losing battle the rest of the time trying to get it. We are easily distracted, especially with cell phones. We all tend to have them in our hands. So the truth is that if you don't grab it early on, the chances of getting it and keeping it are that much harder. But it's just as hard to keep the attention once you have it. So different things you can do and techniques we could practice while you're doing your presentations to keep your audience's attention is to try different things, and you want to switch it up a little bit. All right, so think about this. Tip number 1, make it interactive. If you're in a position, if you're in a classroom setting, wherever you're doing your presentation, do something that can get people out of their chairs. You want them to move around, you want their muscles to be used, get that blood pumping. It's gonna send oxygen to the brain, and it's gonna help them kind of refocus back on you and what's going on at the moment. So anything you could do to be interactive and get people moving is great. I went to Tony Robbins concert, not concert because that's what it felt like, but a business seminar of his about a week and a half ago, and it was for 4 hours only. But within those 4 hours, we were jumping, we were moving around, we were high-fiving with people, we were doing activities with strangers around us to be interactive, and it really gets your attention to where you're focusing on the moment and what's going on. So anything you can do to be interactive is always gonna go a long way. Tip number 2, ask questions. Now, I'm not talking about the rhetorical questions where people are just sitting there pondering something. That's great, and it kind of gets people thinking about things, but ask questions from your audience and engage with them. Ask certain people to answer those questions, because again, people are going to be listening to what they're saying about the topic. They're going to be wondering, what I have said the same thing, mine's a little bit different scenario, but all the attention is back onto you, the question you're asking, the person that's answering it, and what's going on at the moment. So questions are a huge way to kind of re-grab people's attention. Obviously, make sure that it's part of your presentation. So you have to be able to incorporate it into it so it flows better, because if you're just throwing out a random question in the middle of your presentation, you're gonna lose people. So incorporate questions into your presentations and your speeches, and it's gonna help people answer them, figure out what people are answering if they're not being asked, and see what's going on with the presentation the rest of the time. So it's a great way to keep your people engaged. And the third tip is humor. Humor is huge. If you can work and make people laugh, that is gonna be good in 2 different ways. The first way is when people laugh, they release endorphins that make them feel good. So they're gonna be awesome, they're gonna want more. So they're gonna wanna see what else you're gonna say that could be funny, and obviously, again, incorporate it into your presentation. But the second way that humor is good is that for the people that weren't paying attention, that they had their heads down in their cell phones or were chit-chatting with somebody else, when they realize that people around them are laughing at something you said, now they're wondering, what did I just miss? Now they're not gonna wanna miss more. So being able to throw something with humor into your presentation can go a very, very long way. All right, guys, that's your 3 tips for today. Tip number 1 is do something interactive. You can get the people moving around and get their blood flowing, send oxygen back to the brain. Is always gonna be better than people just slouching in their chairs, doing the same thing for an hour plus however long your presentation is, right? Number 2 is ask questions and make sure you get them to where people can answer them and engage with the audience, because people wanna know what they're saying and they wanna start thinking about what you're asking. And tip number 3 is whenever you can, throw something funny out there. Anything to get people laughing kind of gets those endorphins released, and the people that aren't paying attention are gonna wanna know what they missed, and they're not gonna wanna miss anything else. So whenever you can incorporate something funny in there, it always goes a long way. All right, guys, that's your 3 tips for today on how to keep your audiences engaged throughout your presentation. Do me a favor, like the video, comment on it, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.